Hello, my crafty friends. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Linda Edwards and I'm with Crafty Here in Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm going to show you how to make this fun birthday card. It's another round for your birthday and it's a fun fold, which I always really like. I don't know, it's like a flap fun fold. I don't know what you call it, but you can take this design and apply it to whatever use whatever you have to make this card. It certainly doesn't have to be this one, but of course this is really cute. This is the Brewed For You stamp set, and it has dies, the brewed dies that go along with it, and there are 14 dies that you can use, and I'm going to just use a few of them today. And the paper that I'm using is the He's the Man Designer Series paper. This is definitely going to be retiring at the end of April. Not sure yet what's going to happen with this stamp and die set, but it is currently available in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. And if you don't have it and you would like it, I'd love for you to visit my website, craftyhereindesigns.stampinup.net, and go ahead and purchase that set or whatever else you need to make this card. Here are all of the directions for the card, all the measurements, and I'm going to go through it with you, but if you wanted to take a screenshot of that, you can certainly do that. I will have the measurements also in the description of the video, whether you're down below, either on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching me, you can find that information. So, I am going to show you, I'm going to start with the material. So I've got an envelope and the basic card base is Sahara Sand, and it is cut at 7 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is the 5 1/2 side, 7 1/4, and it is scored at 3 inches from one side. And then you're also going to need another piece that is, I actually just kind of cut that off the end of it. That's the extra 1/4 inch, that 1 1/4 inch, but you only need 4 inches of it, and that's going to be scored at 1 inch. Set that aside. And then you need actually 2 of these 3 by 3 squares. I also did that with the Sahara Sand, all the same color. And then you'll need a scrap for some die cutting. And I actually went ahead and cut the die already. I suggest a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, but that's so that it can fit a circle die. And this is one of the stitched circle dies. Comes in a wonderful set of squares and circles and labels. So I'm going to set that aside. I did that one already to save us a little bit of time. And then you're going to need early espresso. I love the colors, the way these colors go together, the early espresso and the Sahara Sand. So one of them is going to be 5 1/4 by 2 3/4, and the other one is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and we're going to do some layering with that. So the 3 by 3 and the 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then the very vanilla, you will need the base is 5 1/4 by 4. That's going to be for the inside. And then you need a scrap that's about 3 by 3 for stamping and die cutting. And you can see I've already cut some of this out. This one's about 1 1/4 inches, but just a scrap to do your die cutting. And then you'll need another little scrap. This is a 1/2 inch, and that's for the sentiment on the front. It's a 1/2 inch wide. And then the Designer Series paper, the He's the Man, this is 5 1/8 by 2 5/8. Again, we're going to layer that. And then this is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And these are the 2 pieces that I'm going to use. You can see that's the other side of those. So I am going to use, as I said, the Brewed For You bundle. We're going to use linen thread, the classic matte dots. And then the inks we're going to use are Daffodil Delight, Early Espresso, Mary Merlot, and Sahara Sand. So I'm going to set this aside and let's get started. So move that out of the way. First thing I always like to do is go ahead and fold and burnish my card base. And I'm going to set that aside until we need it. And then I usually like to go ahead with my stamping. So let's go ahead and stamp the pieces that the die cut pieces, and we're also going to stamp the envelope. So I will bring those out, a couple of those, and then some. These are to fill in. Get that out of the way. So we will start with the early espresso. And you know what? As long as we're doing early espresso, I'm going to go ahead and bring that one out as well. Oh, look at, I made a mess already. Oh my goodness. Fortunately, it's just a scrap, so I can use the other side. So first, I'm going to start with the wine glass. I don't know about you, but my family some like the wine, some like beer, and we have a lot of fun at our dinners, as you can imagine. So that, I'm going to set that aside for now. And then I'm going to bring in my envelope because I'm going to do the same thing with the envelope. I'm going to, let's see, but I need a scrap. Here, we'll bring this back over here because I'm going to stamp off the side of the envelope. And so I'm kind of tilting that a little bit, kind of look like, actually this should be this way, shouldn't it? Because like they're clinking, like we're clinking glasses. Let's try it that way. There, set that aside. And then this one, I'm gonna do like, I'm gonna try and line them up so it looks like they're cheers. There we go. All right, so it's a little different than the other one, but I think that's all good. Let me see. So the inside is not, yeah, it's something else. So I'm going to leave that for now. Set those aside. And I'm going to bring in the Mary Merlot and stamp. Now, these are photopolymer stamps, so you can see through them, which is nice because you can see I'm kind of looking at it to make sure I got a good image because I'm going to kind of line it up. It's not going to line up exactly. It's, you know, meant to be a glass. There we go. Oh, that was pretty darn good. And then let's bring this one in. Again, looking through it to make sure that I got a good inking of that pad. Now these are photopolymer stamps, so you generally, especially with a nice thick one like that, you usually want to make sure that you have a stamping pad underneath. My surface here is actually a mouse pad. It's designed to be like a mouse pad. So it's got a little cushion to it. So I didn't have to bring in a separate stamping pad. But if you don't have a cushion, you're going to get a much better image if you have something. And it could be a mouse pad. For a long time, I just used a regular mouse pad and it worked really well. But, you know, a lot of us don't have mouse pads anymore, and we've got track pads on our computers, so you might not have one. So Stampin' Up! Has their pad that you can certainly get, and that works very well as well. Okay, that's it for the yellow and the Daffodil Delight and the Mary Merlot. Let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment, and here's my little, oh, here's my scrap. Let's turn that over. So I just use, you know, I don't know about you, but I always have a lot of scraps, these 1/2 inch scraps. So I like to use them as, you know, sentiments. And this is no different. So, and again, because it's photopolymer, I can pretty well see to get it straight. Let's see how I did. Yep. Absolutely, that I am happy with that. And I am just going to set that aside and then I'll trim it later. So now on the inside, I do have, I'm going to bring over my very vanilla and I'm going to stamp the inside. I think I will stamp with the Sahara Sand first. So I'm going to stamp the bottle. This, let me see here. And I'm going to kind of tilt it. I want it kind of in the corner here. And I want to do this first because it'll help guide where the rest of my stamping is going to go. So there we go. That. And then I'm done with the Sahara Sand Ink. So I'm going to close it so I don't accidentally get ink all over. And now I've got the early espresso again. And this is just going to go, okay, right inside the growler. Here we go. Ooh, that's a nice dark image. I really like that early espresso. You know, Stampin' Up! Is going to have a color refresh. We don't know yet which colors are staying and which are leaving. I have a few of my favorites. This early espresso is definitely one of my favorites. I hope it stays. But it's always fun to kind of imagine and just to get new colors, something new to create with. So this is our my sentiment, because you totally deserve it. Do you have a favorite color that you hope stays? Or are you open to change? We'll know in less than a week. Less than a week. Go ahead and comment if you've got a favorite color. I'd love to know kind of what your favorites are. And by the way, if you are running low on any of these ink or the colors, I would go ahead and suggest you order them now, because if you've got a favorite color that you want to have around for a while, it's going to go fast. Once that list comes out, things are going to sell out. So just be forewarned. All right, so now we're going to die cut the bottles. So I'm bringing in my that's an embossing folder. I don't need that. Creating my sandwich, which is, and I'm using my small. I'll get that out of the way here so you can see my mini cutting machine, just because it fits better. You see it better in the camera, but certainly I could use either one. And I just got some new plates for it. You know, these plates don't last forever. And because I do classes, they get a lot of use. I make a lot of cards, and my students use them. So I might have to tape that just because I keep knocking it. Oh, we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and put that down. Anyway, so I did go ahead and get new plates, but I'll tell you, this is only the second set of plates that I've had. I had this, got it when it first came out, so I think it's been a couple of years. So it's lasted quite well. All right, and you can see, aren't those cute? All right, I think that's all the die cutting that I have to do, so I will set that aside. Everything is ready to start assembling. All right, so I'll bring my card base back in, and let's see, don't want to put the inside in yet. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and start the front. So I'm going to use liquid glue. You use whatever adhesive works for you. You know, some people just get that glue everywhere, so they prefer tape runner or, you know, whatever works for you. Go ahead and put these layers. I love cards that are interesting. They look complicated, but they're really not. As you can see, this was, you know, a fair amount of die cutting, but really not difficult at all. So now we're going to layer this next, create this next layer. So start with the brown, the espresso on the bottom, and then I've got one layer of the Sahara Sand there, and then I've got my designer series paper. And there's another layer. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to do a masculine card. Guys don't like a lot of frills and, you know, fancy stuff, and so that can be a little challenging. But so I think that's why I like to have I have 3 sons, my husband, so I like to create some things that I can use for their birthdays. So this will be a good one for one of my boys. So you might see I did go ahead when I cut this. You see that end's a little bit straight, but I'm going to hide it under my my sentiment. Okay, so this one's ready, and I've got this. So that's going to be the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead. I'm going to fold and burnish this little piece. This will act like the arm, so that the this piece is going to go on top of there. So the first thing I'm going to do is just line this up, and I'm just lining it up. I'm just eyeballing it. If you want it to be really precise, you are more than welcome to do that. I'm not too worried about it. Oh, I might have had a little too much there. You do want an adhesive that's going to be, that's going to hold well. So a tear and tape or a liquid glue, something that's going to be sturdy, because of course this is a movable piece. And you can see I'm lining this up and making sure that it kind of just meets the end there. I don't want it to stick out too much. Here we go. And now I can go ahead and put this on so that that piece is hidden. And that's why I wanted to wait. So I told you to wait. Don't put this inside together yet. So then just put this, and we're just going to kind of center it there. Isn't that cute? I just think this is really a cute card and a cute stamp set. Okay, now this part is going to go like that. So you can see I'm kind of just lining it up, kind of seeing where it's going to go. I know that that's where I want my adhesive to go, and I don't want it to go past there. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and I'm going to just put my adhesive on here. And then I will go ahead and line, oops, I could go over a little further. Lining it up. Maybe come up just a little. But I put the adhesive just in the center so that I knew it would be okay. But the other thing is I'm going to go ahead and cover that up as well, because I just don't like the way that looks. And so that's what that second piece of Sahara Sand is for. This is another 3x3 piece, and you could put designer series paper here, or you can, just do like I did, and you could put another sentiment there. You could have a lot of fun with that, but I just kept it simple. All right, so now we're going to go to getting these pieces kind of popped up. So I'm going to pull out my dimensionals and go ahead and put those on like that. And then line it all up. I'm not going to put a dimensional on the bottom part, excuse me, because it's going to be underneath, it's going to be hidden here anyway. So let's go ahead. I'm going to just trim this off a little bit. At a little bit of an angle. And then do the same thing on this side. Again, just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I did know that I wanted to kind of hide that a little bit, but I'm really not too worried about it. Nobody's going to be studying this card and looking for mistakes. They're going to be enjoying it. So let me see. I think I want that maybe right there. And that one. Kind of there. And then this is really just going to be glued right on top of there. So a little bit of liquid glue. Oops. Actually, I think I will glue it on top, but I'm going to put a small dimensional on either side just to make sure that if I send it through the mail that it doesn't get crushed. So yeah, I think that side. And that one. There we go. And then just a little bit of adhesive there. I really probably could have put a bigger dimensional underneath there because you wouldn't see it. Come on. There we go. You wouldn't really see it underneath the sentiment anyway. I just kind of want that like that. There we go. All right, and then the last thing, I'm going to take some of the linen thread. Here it is. I love this stuff. I use this all the time. I like to do a lot of natural cards. I think it works well with flowers when you get kind of a natural look to it. But it also works well with masculine cards. I don't think it's inappropriate to add it. But certainly if your guy is just wouldn't be happy with it, then don't use it. It's, You got to make it appropriate to the receiver of your card. There we go. And I just doubled that. I hope you saw that. I kind of zipped through it pretty fast. I just doubled it up and made a bow. Okay, and then definitely I'm going to kind of make this, I'm going to make this small. Oh my goodness, wrong side. So I'm taking my glue dot and just kind of twirling it on the end of my Take Your Pick tool so that it's nice and small. And then I'm going to put it on the back of there. And then this is just kind of going at the bottom of that glass. Just want to make sure it's all covered up so that, again, when I put it in an envelope in the mail, it doesn't get caught in there. Nobody's ever said that things have, but I kind of wonder. I wonder if somebody, would they tell me if I sent them a card and it got crushed in the mail? I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't say anything. Be afraid that I would be sad. All right, and these little dots, I think these are great. They're just kind of milky, pearly, not too blingy, which I like. I think they add some nice interest. So there you go. Because you totally deserve it. I hope you like that. I don't know, what do you think? So should I have put these clinking as well? Maybe I should have, but you can do it that way. Let me know what you think and if it works out better for you. Kind of tilting them to each other. I hope you like what you saw today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It helps others to find me. And if you want to see other videos that I do, I try to put out a couple of videos a month with the different cards that we make in our card making classes. And if you'd like to see them, if you are following me on Facebook or subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you will be notified when I upload another video. And if you are in the Greensboro, Georgia area and would like to come to one of my classes, I would love to have you. You can find information about my classes on my Facebook page, Crafty Heron Designs, and also on my website, craftyherondesigns.stampinup.net. Or you can subscribe to my newsletter, and through either of those venues, subscribe to my newsletter, and you will get all the information about Stampin' Up! And about my classes. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.